This blog was created as part of the planning and scheduling of a project. For this project, I decided to create a visual representation by using such means as a blog site to show the planning and scheduling with specific reference to the construction management and technology. As part of the above mentioned project, we appointed project managers for the Adamstown Leisure Centre project. Our task was to develop the initiation and planning stage of the project, and with this we were to create the following processes: develop the project charter, identify the stakeholders, collect the requirements, define the scope, create the work breakdown structure, define the activities, sequence the activities, estimate the activity resources, estimate activity durations, and develop the schedule. The first process I started to develop was the project charter, which is part of the initiating process. The initiating process creates the documents that are required to define a new project. The project charter is a document that formally authorizes the start of a project. The project charter is normally a single page that lays out a brief explanation of the scope, cost, and time frame. Once the project charter has been created, it is submitted to the sponsor for his approval and signature. The next process I started was to identify the project stakeholders. A stakeholder is a person or organisation that has an influence within the scope of the project. You normally have two types of stakeholders, which are called external and internal. An internal stakeholder would be a person or organisation that would be directly linked to the project, such as the client, sponsor, project management company, and contractors. The external stakeholders would be suppliers and other individuals whom reside outside of the project management company. We establish a power chart to show which stakeholders require the appropriate levels of communication, with the key stakeholders such as the client, sponsor, and other investors requiring the highest levels of communication. Following stakeholders analysis, I then collected the requirements, which involved defining the scope and creating the work breakdown structure. The project scope definition provides a detailed description of the project and explains the roles and responsibilities of the project members. With the scope definition, the following documents must be included, such as project charter, project schedule, and project budget resources. schedule recruitment, plans, health and safety plans, and risk assessment, and a program of works. All of these will be formulated into the project plan. The work breakdown structure represents all the necessary work required to complete the project. To put it simple, a list of activities to follow and tick off. After completing the collection of requirements, we need to define the activities, which there are three main elements, which are to sequence activities, list activity resources, and estimate activity durations. These activities can generally be explained on one document, which is known as a program of works. The first process I started to develop was the project charter, which is part of the initiating process. The initiating process creates the documents that are required to define a new project. The project charter is a document that formally authorizes the start of a project. The project charter is normally a single page that lays out a brief explanation of the scope, cost, and time frame. Once the project charter has been created, it is submitted to the sponsor for his approval and signature.